What's going on, everyone? It's Zach with the Wicked Heavy Podcast, and in today's episode, I sit down with Andy Reynolds, vocalist and brainchild of the deathcore band Thus Spoke Zarathustra. Now, I heard about these dudes back in May, and I've been hooked ever since. It's such a nod to the old school 2007, 2008 deathcore sound. That's exactly what they were going for, and they nailed it. So if you haven't checked them out, you got to do it. But yeah, this was a really good conversation. Andy's the man. Is our first time ever talking. And I'm grateful that he said yes to coming onto the podcast because I definitely learned a lot. I have a ton of bands that I'm still looking up from that conversation. And it was just great to hear his story, how he even got into music, heavy music, and then how his taste changed, kind of leading to the formation of Thus Spoke. I'm so glad, that he was touched by the MySpace era of deathcore because it really shines through, and they're absolutely crushing it right now with what they're putting out, the shows they're putting on, and the tours that they've been a part of. So I really hope you enjoy this conversation with Andy from Thus Spoke Zarathustra on the Wicked Heavy Podcast. All right, Andy, my dude, thank you so much for coming on the podcast. I appreciate it.
Thank you for having me, brother.
Hell yeah, dude. No, I knew right when I started this podcast, I was like, you know what? I got to get Thus Spoke on here. So making it happen. My dude, so this tour you just went on with tracheotomy. I'm sad I couldn't go. I know we talked about it in the chat there, but how was that, dude? What a bill.
It was very cool to go on the road with them finally. We had been talking to each other for a while about setting something up, so it was very cool to finally get that going because they were also kind of like one of the things that kind of got Thus Spoke to even be really a thing. So
no kidding.
Yeah.
It's actually how I discovered you guys. So I sent tracheotomy to my friend Evan, who's like a purist death metal, more so than deathcore. He likes just like Fetus, Cannibal Corpse, Nile, right? I sent him tracheotomy, and then you guys popped up on this. It's called like old school deathcore playlist, and he goes, "Dude, you have to hear this." And I was like, "This is nuts." And it was the Henry Ford track off of The Sun Will Never Shine Upon Us. And he's like, "Well, check this out." And it was Artery Records. So I was like, "Oh my God, this is insane." And it's new, and it sounds like it's like 2007. So I was like, I'm all about this. So, dude, unreal. What was the craziest show on that tour?
There was a couple highlights throughout the whole tour. I do have to shout out Erie, PA, because they were moshing and breaking the tables that the merch was on. That was one of them.
Okay.
Crazy. They're nuts up there. And then
wow.
Covington, Kentucky was crazy. There was this guy who I was just like, not like heckling, I was like trolling him in a good way. But I was sometimes I like to like interact with the crowd where I'm like, if somebody's like really big, muscular, I would be like, "Yo, Muscles, you're looking good, move up." And like, I was just like doing that the whole time with this guy. And like, from like literally the first song, he was stage diving. He was a good sport with everything.
Yeah.
But then during the last, when we did the Elijah cover at that show, I like ran with the mic and just jumped off the stage. Like, it was like people going crazy the whole time. It was the most energy. Like, Covington, Kentucky, you guys are awesome.
Wow.
So
Covington, Kentucky. No kidding.
That's it was crazy, man.
Wow. And then Erie, Pennsylvania was the other one?
That was another one. Oh, another one that was... Sorry, I have ADHD, so...
All good.
But, Orlando, Florida has always treated this band with so much love. Florida in general. But the Orlando date, it's just like young kids the whole time beating the shit out of everyone, and I mean like they're like it looks like they watched the like Japanese beatdown video
Yeah, I know
on
exactly what you're talking
YouTube
about.
and like are copying those moves like trick for trick. There's this kid who comes up and like I forget his Instagram name, but he like we talk a little bit and I got to know how young he was and he's like, "Yo, I'm so stoked to see you. I'm going to go extra hard." And and he's literally doing like ninja spin kicks and like some kid got his teeth knocked out, some kid's nose just like was exploded.
Oh man,
It Florida, the spot to any bands that are potentially watching this in the future, the spot in Orlando, they go
the
crazy
spot.
play there.
No kidding. Damn, yeah. Florida does throw down. They always have a lot of the hardcore fests down there
Crazy,
too.
man.
There's like a good metal scene. I don't know what it is about
Yeah,
Florida.
they got something different in the water down there,
I
like
guess so.
alligator blood or something. I don't know.
All right, so you're from Maryland originally?
Yes.
Okay. So walk me through it, man. Take me back to before Thus Spoke. When did you first like hear music and think like this is cool? And what was it? And then how did you get into heavy music, man?
Um. Well, my mom and my dad, like from a young age, I guess they they would put on stuff like I don't know if you know who Raffi is, but it's just like a kid singer. Like
Yeah.
he makes kid songs and
Oh
like I
yeah, yeah,
remember
yeah.
yeah, and I remember just at a very young age listening to stuff like that. My dad was into heavy music. He like he like came up on like Metallica and like stuff like that. And so like that's like really my first interactions of heavy music. But it starts from like Raffi, pretty much whatever's being played because I'm like a baby, and then like
Yeah.
my cousins were a lot older than me, and they got me into bands like Lamb of God and like Kill Switch Engage and All That Remains, and then also bands like All Shall Perish and then E Town Concrete and stuff like
Oh
this
wow.
at like a really young age. Like imagine being 5 and you're hearing More Than Incredible by E Town
Yeah, yeah,
Concrete
yeah. Okay.
because they're like it's just like Limp Bizkit. So but it's like stuff like that, and then like all the dad rock new metal things, like Korn, POD, System of a Down, Slipknot, all the whole nine,
Yep.
and like that's kind of like at a very young age I was introduced to the heavy stuff.
That's like
So
pre-middle school.
yeah, and like they like I'd be on the school bus and I'd like the kids would like bully me a lot in school, and they'd be like, "Oh, what are you listening to?" And I'm like, "Black Gold Rain by All Shall Perish," and they're like, "Yeah, that shit's gay." So
That's not cool, man. God, I know like a lot of the metal kids got that. I used to wear the corn shirt and the ball chain necklace, and I was kind of chubby, but that was my jam, dude. Couldn't help it. That's what I loved.
they
That's crazy.
they were hating from a young age, but now you know what you know we're still rocking, and they're probably in a very unhappy marriage somewhere. You know.
Fair enough, dude. Yeah, so that's similar story, but it's funny. My parents are more like classic rock, etc. Journey, Van Halen, Aerosmith. But my parents and my cousin's parents, he's the same age as me, they gave us the Metallica Black album at the same time, and I think I was 4 when I got it, and that was my first CD, and that changed everything, man. And then I heard Korn, and then everything really changed.
Oh yeah.
And nothing was more important than Korn at the time, and it just like put me down a whole different path. So I can totally relate. But man, I didn't hear like those other bands you were mentioning until like middle school, almost high school, like Kill Switch and stuff. That's wild.
Yeah,
So wow. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say like the the first time I heard Muir was like in 3rd grade, and my cousins would put
Wow.
on When Keeping It Real Goes Wrong,
Oh yeah, dude.
and I remember getting my iPod taken away in 3rd grade, and it's right at the part because I used to just skip to the part where he's like, "Won't you be my bride?" and just
Yeah.
like I was obsessed with that when I was a kid.
Another
Yeah,
day, dude. That first album, man. Goodbye to the Gallows, right?
yeah,
When it came out, and I don't know who in my friend group heard it first and then like distributed it. I want to say it was my friend Billy. Thank you, Billy. But it was everything. It was so different and just so low and slow, which
hmm
compared to a lot of the stuff. And I was like, this is so sick. I go back to them all the time. I love the Muir, actually. got Josh when he was drumming for Mimure on SJC, and I was like so proud.
Very cool.
Oh, I love that band, dude. I hear, especially in Allison, what is the last Sorkin? What's that song?
Allison Morgan.
Yeah, dude. There's a part in there where I thought it was Frankie. I was like, this sounds
Yeah,
super
that was the like with that record and stuff. It was kind of like like it's very much this started as a bedroom project. So like I wasn't like it was just like let me just try to recreate the songs I grew up on because
Yeah.
I was like it sounds like Ymir, so I'm gonna do the Ymir Frankie thing.
So sick, dude. I love it. Why not?
Thank
If you
you.
liked it and it was awesome, because it is, why wouldn't you do that? All right, so you're middle school. So when are you starting to be in a band then, or try like doing a band thing?
Well, like seriously, probably like at like my senior year of high school. But like I was trying to do bands when I was like 14. I would just like post vocal covers online
Okay.
because like I saw Suicide Silence play at like Mayhem Fest, and I forget what year it is. I'm like 14, and I've
Okay.
never heard anybody like Mitch Lucker sing before in my life. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
sitting there watching this guy do a high scream, and the microphone is literally like 2 feet away. I'm like, I want to do that, and that's like kind of what kickstarted doing vocals for me was like seeing that, and then like I didn't really know what I was doing, and like there's so many high school projects. I'm sure you can know what I'm talking about. Like
Oh
we're
yeah.
like, oh yeah, look, yeah, we're a band, but we've only practiced one time and made a cool Facebook page and a logo.
Right.
The my senior year of high school was when I met a couple of guys and we got serious for a little EP, and then right after high school is when I kind of started getting to tour a little bit. So
As Thus Spoke?
no. This was my very first band was called Repressed,
Cool.
and then after that I was in a band. I started playing bass for a band called Strangers,
Oh.
and then later on ended up going to do vocals for them. But this is like probably a year or two ago when I started doing vocals for them. And then after playing bass for them for a little bit, I also played for a band called Shallow Views that I played bass for. And then, was trying to do other bands that I try to do vocals for, but then I started singing for a band called Shame Spiral in 2018.
Okay.
And I did an EP with them, a little bit of touring with them. And then in 2019, I quit that band. And then didn't really think I was going to be doing like music full time anymore. And then after a couple years, the pandemic was over. Well, during the pandemic, I wrote some like industrial music and
Cool.
put that out. And then after the pandemic, I heard tracheotomy and tactosa, all these new things that reminded me of like music that I was listening to when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I got to do something like this just to like get it out of my system. And then like Thus Spoke has been a band since the fall of like 2022.
Got
So
it.
kind of like when that little 3-track EP came out, but we weren't really an active band till the first show we did at the Afira Showcase.
Okay. I was looking back to the Instagram. What is Afira?
Afira is a record label that was started.
Okay. That's what I thought.
Yes, which I shout out Chris, shout out Vaughn, shout out all the Afira guys, good homies. But yeah, they had this little showcase, and I asked them if I could play, and the guys from Weeping really helped me out with that set, and yeah, that was kind of where it started. So about a year, it was pretty much an active band.
No kidding, man. Coming out firing on all cylinders with that release. So the scene in Maryland, then, it seems like it's pretty healthy for heavy music then.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of cool sick bands. I think that there's a pretty big hardcore scene down here. I think that the deathcore scene and stuff like that, as far as I know, is growing. I know that beatdown and stuff like that's pretty popular down here.
Yeah. It does seem. I mean, I was talking to the drummer of Primal Horde. He was on the podcast recently, and he's up in Montreal, and he said like the scene is thriving. Like there's so many shows, which is cool to see. I feel like the kind of the local scene where you could go to a show like every weekend. At least that's what I could do in high school. Had gone away for a bit, but it does seem like it's coming back. Or in some places, maybe where you are, it never left, which is pretty sick.
I think that for a little bit, it definitely shows kind of like pre-pandemic, like probably like a year to 2 to 3 years before the pandemic. Things kind of definitely are not how they are now. But I think that after the pandemic, it showed people, I think, what they may have been taking for granted, but also there are a lot more younger kids now
Right.
coming out. Like there's the Connecticut date of the tracheotomy tour. We didn't play, but I just went to.
Oh,
And
okay.
there's a there was this 15-year-old kid wearing a necrophagist shirt, and I don't know if I pronounced it right or wrong, but I literally don't care. I will always say necrophagist. Some people say necrophagist,
Yeah.
tomato, tomato.
That's
But
fun. Yeah, I've never heard it like that, but it does make sense.
the, the this this 15-year-old is wearing an epitaph shirt. He shouldn't know who necrophagist is.
Right.
I point right. I'm like almost like police interrogating. How do you know about this band? And they're like, "Oh, I just found them." But like, it's cool. It's cool to see that, and it's really cool to see all these kids coming out. And like, I wasn't around during the MySpace era, but I've talked to some friends that like were around during them, and they're kind of saying like it feels like that time again. Like
Wow.
there's a lot of these kids coming out just like, and they're like the pictures that I see from like the early shows of like in the mid 2000s and stuff of like Amir playing in like a basement somewhere. I see that,
Yeah, dude.
and then I see Girl of Glass playing a show and it looks identical,
Right.
and it's like I'm like, this is it's so beautiful to see. It's amazing. It's an amazing time to be in the music industry, I think, as a whole right now.
Yeah, because it's so funny. I saw the pictures from those shows on your Instagram, and I'm like, man, this feels literally like MySpace show era when yeah, dude, would play at like an ICC. It was like the local church or like the Norwood, like the Legion, the VFW, and stuff like that, and people would just throw down. Like it's just, yeah, it's pretty crazy. Like the MySpace band like that I remember being the most MySpace band from when I was had a profile was My Children, My Bride.
Oh yeah,
Dude, like all of us were so into that band and like would look up the singer Maddie. We'd be like, "Oh, it'd be so cool to be like that, dude." But
yeah.
it was a thing, man. It was a thing. So yeah, that's so the whole MySpace thing. And if I look back, I have a screenshot of what you posted when you posted your EP, and it says this project was made for anyone missing that time in like 2007 when Amir and Suicide Silence were selling the gold foil logo on their gym shorts in the backyard of some dude's house when no one wore deodorant and you wish they did. This goes out to anyone who can wear a medium-sized Chelsea Grin shirt. Did you experience that, or is that like like you must have, but you were super young?
I I like I didn't really like know what genres were or like stuff that was called MySpace deathcore. I knew bands that were a part of that. I just didn't know what
Yeah.
that was until older. But like I did have friends tell me about it, like my friend City and Dave and Danny Wolf from New York and my friend Peter Rono from Kaunasha. They used to tell me about all these shows coming up, and like this like the joke about the deodorant thing is that like you go to a deathcore show and nobody, whether MySpace or not, and nobody's
Yeah.
wearing deodorant.
Right, right, right.
And like I just remember like the vague, very vague early on, like, and like when I first started going to shows, like one of my earliest shows is like All Shall Perish and Oceano
Oh,
and Reflections and
yeah.
Within the Ruins at
Jeez.
Harmony Grange in Delaware. And that's like when All Shall Perish dropped. This is where it ends. So this isn't anywhere near like, like anywhere near like The Price of Existence or Waking the
Right.
Dreamers. But I remember the shirts and like I wasn't really around during like any of like the, like when they talk about
Right.
golden era or whatever,
Yeah.
but I always saw people talking about it, and like the description for that was really kind of like just being funny,
Yeah, of
but
course.
like I didn't
Oh,
really
I got it. I got
necessarily.
it.
But it's cool
Yeah,
to
dude.
see people like recognize that I'm trying to just like I'm just trying to make this very authentic to that because like I said, I wasn't like around for it, but I really appreciate what
Yeah.
that time period did for people.
Dude, you captured it. There's like a Reddit thread of people like, have you heard of Thus Spoke? And like people are stoked on it, right? They're like, they're killing it. They sound just like what they're trying to do. So yeah, you definitely captured it, man. And correct me if I'm wrong. Did you produce it?
I mixed it, but Brandon Lopez mastered it.
Got it. Because it says like something by Andy on like the day
Yeah.
you released. I was like, no kidding. That's cool, man. All right. So the writing process there for this, I have to assume everyone in the band is on the same page, wanted to create something like this
Um
because it's just, yeah, I don't know. Every track has a moment, and I missed that. That is what metalcore and deathcore had back in those days. Like you would wait for a part you knew was coming and be like, this part is so sick. I don't know how to explain it, but like all the bands like Devil Wears Prada, Old Days, Bring Me, like Suicide Season, there were moments in every track that I would wait for because I knew it's just like the best. And you have that. Did it.
well, thank you so much. I
Yeah.
appreciate that. The I guess with the writing process and stuff, like I didn't really have members before this, so like the writing process was just like I thought about like what is authentic to that. Like I think like I didn't want to make something that was like new. I just wanted to make something that was authentic to that. Like you can expect during a ring out, there's probably a snare thing that is the pattern of a guitar pattern. And then they're doing
Yes.
opens and then they're going straight into there might be a pause and then like they're hitting the 0-1 chord, like
Yes.
mm,
dude. I yeah, I'm so happy Evan had sent it to me. I was like, finally, like I needed something like this because I mean, there's tons of good stuff, but it was like, this is fun. This is fun. Like, oh, I just love it.
thank you,
Um,
man.
the name, it's a fiction book by Nietzsche,
Yeah.
the philosopher. Can you explain the why you went with that?
So basically I was I was going to school for psychology for like a month, but before okay, to take it back even further, like when before like I wanted to do music again, I was really kind of struggling with like myself and like with like what am I doing with my life, like I was very lost and then like
Mm-hmm.
I was like somebody told me to read like just check out philosophy, check out different spiritual things. So like I kind of went all over the spectrum of like reading religious texts, philosophy, all that, and then I read
Mm-hmm.
Thus Spoke Zarathustra. And the name, like choosing the name, I initially was like I was thinking of like different band names from back then that were
Mm-hmm.
like the MySpace names, like Arsonist Gets All the Girls, 303, My Children, My Bride, All Shall Perish, The Amity Affliction. They're like these long names, and like
Yeah.
I honestly I saw it on my bookshelf and I was like, let's just call it that because I think that just like fits.
Yeah.
But the book itself is actually pretty cool. It is a fictional book, but it's Nietzsche's take on like nihilism. It's very interesting for sure.
Well, dude, I was a philosophy major at school,
Oh,
so that when I
sweet.
looked this up, I was like, no kidding. That and Nietzsche was what I found to be like the most complicated in terms of trying to like really understand it. I was more on like the Greek philosophers, and I was like, okay, I can get down Plato, Socrates, Aristotle, but then like Nietzsche, I was like, this dude's different. So that's
Yeah,
really cool, man. But yeah, I can relate to that totally. Sometimes, dude, I struggle with that all the time still. Like, what am I really supposed to be doing? Kind of led to this podcast, to be honest. I was like, I should at least be having fun. I know
yeah.
that, so I want to do something fun.
Yes, sometimes I I've just started to get over like the fear that comes like existentially of getting older,
Yeah.
and like that, you know, obviously we're all gonna, you know, get to that point where you're not alive anymore. And
Yep.
like that was something I dealt with really bad last year, with like some crazy imposter syndrome stuff alongside that. But like you're saying, like it, like, you know, it could be worse, and you know, I'm rocking out, and no matter what happens, I'm gonna rock out even if I don't wake up tomorrow, you know. So
That's right, man. Yep, because you love doing it. That's cool. Okay. So after that record, correct me if I'm wrong, that record comes out. Sorry. When did the album actually drop? I have a note, but my phone shut off.
act like you don't know.
Yeah. Yep.
That record dropped on May 8th of 2023.
Did you guys see like a pretty quick response on it? Because I heard about it like pretty much right then.
Yeah, it was kind of nuts. I was not like prepared for that. Like I just like the way that everything like kind of lined up for the release of the record, I think also really helped with that. Like, because it was like we play the showcase as a secret set. The next
Mm-hmm.
day we post the video, a little clip of it, and then the next day after, Artery Records comes out as a single, and it was kind of like just something every single day leading up to the release.
Yeah.
And I think that really helped with it. And I think that like that's another, I do have to shout out Fear again, because like I don't think anything was necessarily planned the
Right.
way that we set it up. But because like the label for me with them, like it was like you know, these are my friends, they want to put on my music and stuff, and I'm like, you know, I'm not really, I didn't think this was gonna turn into a touring band. Like it's just my bedroom project, and it was cool to really see people resonate with the work, and it's very, it's blowing me away. Like every day,
Yeah.
some, you know, people are messaging the project, and somebody on the tour said that I saved deathcore, and as much as I appreciate that response, I wouldn't say that. It's just like it's cool to see people like just like being stoked on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Absolutely, dude. It must feel awesome. All right, Elijah. When did you first hear Elijah, and what track was it, if you can remember?
Um,
Unless it was the whole Masochist album. I have to, maybe.
I gotta, if I had to take a guess, I'm gonna go out on a whim and say that my friend Brad from this band called Roseblood showed me them. Because they used to cover, the band Roseblood used to cover Triumph. I
Yeah.
didn't.
Ugh.
I think they might have. I think they might have covered Incinerate. I don't remember. I would have
Yeah.
to ask him.
I was in a band that covered Incinerate, the
Oh,
Breakdown.
awesome, sick.
Everyone was.
So, and but like, I was with that. Like, I didn't really listen to them that much. I just knew who they were, and like, I think that the main reason I got into them was because I was like, I'm making MySpace music, like, and obviously when people think of MySpace, they think of Elijah, and
Yeah.
that's what led to the cover. I was thinking like, I was like, because I seen so many people were like, nobody covers Incinerate,
Right.
and I'm like sitting there like, why does nobody cover this song? And I'm like, all right, I think I know what we're gonna do. And that's
Yeah.
when at the showcase we decided to cover the full song, and that's why we
Yeah.
covered it, because it's like, I think it comes out of no, well, it did for a while until people started catching on, like it, that it was a very like, you know, comes out of nowhere. We have played it a lot, so we probably are going to retire it,
Got it.
because it's
That's all
been like
right.
over a year of playing it. You know, it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah. Did its thing. It's fun though.
yeah,
I know people love that band, man. Anyone that loves deathcore probably loved Elijah. My friend Sam and I would listen to that in his Dodge Stratus. This is like high
oh
school,
yeah,
like so loud and just over and over. Oh, Filthy, Incinerate, and Triumph. Like Triumph for me was the song. I just
yeah.
was like, my thumbs are in here. I was like, this is crazy. That's cool, man. I love, like, if anyone else knows them or hears them, I get super excited. So had to ask.
Did you ever see them when they
No,
played?
so I wish, dude. I don't. They must have made it to the East Coast. I know they're from California, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I never saw them. I wish I did. I'm glad they finally put Masochist on Spotify, though. I
Yes.
found it online. There's like a way to stream it. Even the EP before that, which some of the recordings I do like the older
Oh yeah,
version.
yeah.
It's just crazy, but yeah, it's finally can just like blast it. It's such an interesting production too.
Yeah, yeah.
The drum sound, like if you're listening, anyone from Elijah, the drums sound kind of funny, but I love them for that because I was like, dude, no one's drums sound like this. The snare's crazy.
Yeah, I think that like if you compare like the original mix to like Masochist and stuff, it's not necessarily like the grade A spirit box,
Right, of course.
very modern level, but I think that it's aged really well. And I think as
Yeah,
I've gotten older, like I don't really, I like bands that do modern mixes where it works, you know what I mean?
yeah,
But if it's like, if a band like, for example, us went to like Will Putney to do a
right,
record, it's probably not going to do as well because it has too much of that crisp,
right,
thing
right.
that doesn't work for, I think, bands like us.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Although it'd be interesting to hear, but
Yeah,
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 I
definitely.
agree with you. I agree with you. So let's talk records then. What are some? I ask people this, like they're like always in rotation that you'll never get sick of. You'll always, if you're just like don't have anything to put on, you put this kind of record on. You're just like, oh, do you have any albums that you always go back to?
Oh yeah, I really love uh, the Downward Spiral by Nine Inch Nails.
Yeah.
After Hours by The Weekend. Um, I'm gonna lump this in as one because I'll listen to the whole discography, the entire Daft Punk discography,
Okay.
not one miss. Um,
Wow.
what else? For heavy music, um, probably the first I'm repping it right now, but the first couple Fear Factory records
Yeah.
I love. Um, first Korn record,
Oh yeah.
Iowa by Slipknot, um, Price of Existence, Goodbye to Guys,
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
The Cleansing.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Of course.
Honestly, I haven't been listening to that much heavy music. I've been listening like outside of like repeated records. Like I've been listening to a lot of pop music recently, but like
Cool.
those new Peeling Fresh tracks are fucking crazy. But
Yeah. Yeah. They are crazy.
I think outside of that, um, there's a bunch of heavy records. Oh, The Fall of Ideals. The Fall of Ideals is a record by All That, or I mean, All That Remains, Fall of
Yeah.
Ideals. That is a record I'll never get tired of. Um, oh my God. What's the first Kill Switch Engage record with My Last Serenade? Is it Alive or Just Breathing? I think it
I
is.
believe it is. That's funny, man. That's the first song I ever heard, like a double bass pattern, like
Yeah.
that I recognized. Like, wait a minute, what is that? And I had to keep rewinding it because I had listened to like Dream Theater and stuff before that, and like Mike Portnoy, the drummer, would play like a little bit of double bass, so I didn't really pick up on it. But when I heard down, da, da, down, da, da,
Mm.
down, da, da, digga, 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 and I was like, oh my god. And then dude, that was it. I had to get a double bass pedal, and like everything changed. So yeah, that's funny. I was more of a Howard dude with Kill Switch, but that first album, yeah, I wouldn't heard what
Yeah.
that double bass, man. That and like 94 Hours by As I Lay Dying. I was like, what the heck is going on? And they
The
kind of like changed everything.
I like the Howard stuff. I think I guess one of my favorite memories, like with my dad, is him taking me to. We went to the Alive or Just Breathing 10 year. I
That's
think.
cool.
I don't remember, but I have a shirt from it somewhere hidden. If I could find it, I would grab it. But
Yeah, all good, man. That's cool.
there's so many records. I can like oh, Stand Up and Scream by Asking Alexandria.
Yeah,
That
yeah, yeah,
record
dude.
I will
It's so
never
fun.
ever get tired of listening to. It is so good. When I was like 14, I was listening to that, and my
Yeah,
hair is really curly, and I was like, I almost would like when I was growing my hair out, I would almost be like almost committed to straightening my hair like
yeah,
that
dude.
because
Yeah, it was a vibe. That album, it really,
yeah,
has moments like, you know, the breakdowns when they're coming. It's just like, oh my gosh.
Yes, indeed.
God, dude. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to think of more like I've been more into like the death metal recently and stuff. Like when my friend showed me Fetus, I went down a path.
Yeah.
Like a purist, no, like just nothing, no frills, no electronic stuff. I was just like pure death metal for a bit, but now I'm coming back more into like hardcore, listen to you guys a lot. But yeah, pop music too though. Like I don't know if you listen to Chapel Roan. Dude, I can't stop.
Amazing.
I'm obsessed.
I'm listening to that. Right before we got on, I was listening to the new Sabrina Carpenter record.
Oh yeah.
That might be album of the year besides Brat by Charlie XCX.
Yeah,
dude.
Brat's on rotation.
My God.
It's fun, dude. Yeah, she's on her like club.
It's like
Euro,
scene.
Like yeah.
You know what I mean?
I know what you mean, bro. And did you listen to 1975 at all?
I like the record with Love Me on it, and it's got the long ass name.
I like the way you sleep. Yeah. So I like when you sleep, but I asked that because she's dating the drummer of the 1975 who produces most of their songs.
Really?
Who produces a lot of her tracks too.
That's gangster.
Yeah, he's like a club banger, bro. So yeah, that's funny. Okay.
That's cool.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, the new Sabrina Carpenter album. My sister sent me a song, and it's so good. Hold on. She's like, you got to do a drum cover to this. I just have to pull it up real quick. You'll probably know it. Bedchem. That song it's like very 90s. It's fire.
I think that's the cool thing about like pop music. It's like not really people doing things that I would argue to be like really like new, but right. I think it's unique because it's like The Weeknd on the last record he just dropped was like Michael Jackson worship. Sabrina Carpenter just sounds like has some like funk influence from like the 70s. Charlie XCX sounds like 90s Euro, gabber, hardcore, like Chapel Roan sounds like Cyndi Lauper. Dude, you know what I mean? I was like, she has a look and everything, and I'm like, it's like crazy to see these artists recreate sounds in a very authentic way, you know?
Absolutely, dude. Do you have any shows coming up that you're attending, whether heavy or not?
What is there? I think I'm gonna try to go to that Lorna Shore tour that's coming up with them, sang with Sugabog, Kublai Khan. Who else is on that? Shadow of Intent, maybe, I think. I don't know.
I think you might be right. Yeah. That'd be cool.
I wanted to catch a date of the Torture Tour, but I think they canceled. I think they're still playing the Canada Fest we're playing. I'm hoping, we are manifesting they did not drop that.
Right.
I'm trying to go to that Peeling Flesh album release tour.
Okay.
Shout out Corpse Pile. Shout out Snuffed on Sight. Like
they're coming up in my like. Inside, I love Spotify. It will serve up like stuff that I normally wouldn't be able to find, and all of those bands have come up recently. I'm like, yo, this is crazy.
It's like, I know the label Maggot Stomp is like just a record label, but I have coined the term, in my opinion, Maggot Stomp death metal, because it's like the way that they can find these death metal bands that are just playing the most ridiculously heavy music. Like, I'm pretty sure Sanguisuga Bog was a Maggot Stomp band. Vomit Forth was a Maggot Stomp band. Snuffed on Sight was a Maggot Stomp band. Like, all these bands are coming out and they're like playing the standard tuning, like, dude, what?
That's what I'm saying. I used to I went down a path of like, no, it has to be wicked low for a bit, right? Like just lower. But now I'm like E standard or drop D, please. Like I just did Maylene. I don't know if you listen to Maylene and the Son of Disaster at all, dude. Check. So Under Oath, first album ever with like Sun Still Sleeps. This is like really early Under Oath. Singer formed a new band after that called Maylene and the Sons of Disaster. MySpace era. Check them out, bro. If you haven't listened to them, that is my gift to you.
Thank you.
Maylene and the Sons of Disaster, bro. He just came on the podcast, but they're all in like E or drop D. It's just hard. Like I don't know. It goes hard.
It's the first so like I didn't know what like how standard tunings worked until I was chilling with a couple a couple of the dudes from like Year of the Knife and Xavier from like Gridiron and
Mm-hmm.
Simulacra sitting there, and I'm like, we're listening to Jesus Piece, and I'm like, are they playing in drop G or something like that? And he's like, nah, it's standard tuning. And he explained like he called it the Marauder chord, where you hit the two top notes and then the fret over.
Right.
And I was like, the first time he showed me that, I was like, this is awesome. Why have I never heard of this?
Right.
I was like, this is crazy. People are just playing in like the tuning of, and now like Jesus Piece is in like B standard, but it sounds like double octave V, but like, and
Yeah.
you're like, what noise is causing that to happen?
Yep. So sick, man. Um, Damn, yeah, there's like a death metal resurgence for sure right now. 200 stab wounds.
Oh my God, the new record is
Yeah,
so
dude.
insane, dude.
It's just, I call it pure. It's just
Yeah,
heavy and like, it's not too over the top. It's got just enough like guitar threading. And it's like, this is so brutal. So yeah, I'm right there with you, man.
that those new Vomit Force singles, as I do with
That kid Evan sent it to
the
me last night. I was like, this is
oh
nuts. Yep.
they their drummer Luke used to play with us, so I'm always rooting for him and Bailey and Kane and all them. But like those singles they put out, I've just been like you like I saw them live, and there are like I get into some music sometimes
Mm-hmm.
where like it makes me want to mosh, but like they didn't make me want to mosh. I wanted to like straight up fight people
Oh.
during this. Like I was Kane, the way he sings is like he could do like monster voices in video games of
Right.
I just and like Randy like captured it so well, and he just like sounds like a wild boar and a bear and like just pissed off,
It's
and like
crazy.
that's the type of death metal I think I like above everything else. It's just like it's just pissed off
Yeah,
music.
yeah. That's funny. You and my friend Evan would totally get along. He's like,
Yeah.
when he said he sent me your stuff, and he's like, dude, this is like killing music. Not that he's like a violent dude, but I knew what he meant. He's like,
Yeah, yeah.
this is so heavy, man. I was like, hell yeah, brother. That's crazy. I did want to ask you because I know you mentioned Korn. Have you ever seen Korn live?
One time it was like probably top 5 shows for me.
Ooh, let's get into that then. What year? What album like was this the cycle on?
Oh, this was like it was a mayhem festival they played.
Oh,
I
sick.
think
Yeah.
it was one of the ones they headlined. I
Mayhem
don't remember the
Fest.
full lineup. I think
Yeah.
that I want to say that it was the same year that Whitechapel played because I think it
Okay.
was the same year. I could be wrong though. I think that was the one that Slipknot played. I don't remember, but I
It's all good. It's
remember
cool.
it was
Just
nuts
nuts,
though.
right?
I was so blown away by like because like I mean obviously a band like Korn you're gonna be like, oh this is gonna be good, and like I was watching videos the whole week to get prepped. They sound just like the album, and seeing them live you're like, yeah, that's a fucking band that can play
Dude,
really good.
so good. I'm going to see him 21st. It's Spirit
Oh
Box,
yeah,
Gojira, and Korn.
oh yeah,
And I've seen him a few times. My first time, man, it was like 2002, and it was the Pop Sucks tour with
oh yeah.
Trust Company and Disturbed.
Wow.
Dude, it was at Mansfield and in Mass. The set's on YouTube too, which is crazy. But yeah, dude, Korn, man, like just I don't know. Fieldy and his bass, I really think
Oh yeah,
like
yeah.
kind of made that band and just made the heaviness. But Did My Time is like my favorite song by
Oh
them
yeah.
live because they slow down the part. I
Oh
did. And he
yeah.
goes, "Joy, dun 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 dun."
There's
Dun." Yeah, can't get enough of it.
have you ever heard of a band called Wisdom and War?
No.
They're from Boston, and we played with them in Philly, and Chanel goes, this next one's a cover, and then they cover Twist, and she like
Oh, no way.
I'm really vibing with the set, and I have to shout out Camden, but they he's like Chanel's like, and like
Dude.
the whole room just I was like a little tired. I was like, I'm not gonna mosh, but dude, I was like, no way. And
Yeah,
it was
man.
just hearing like a band cover Twist is crazy. It's something else, man.
Just even hearing that, so that when I heard that, I was like a kid. I was
Yeah,
like, that was it. I was like, I don't understand this, but I need to hear it again and again and again. And I love it.
yeah,
So
nuts.
funny, man. What are the four other? If you have the top five ready to go,
Oh yeah, yeah.
oh, dude, what are the top shows, man?
Um, I said that, but I might be screwing myself.
Okay.
Um, Nine Inch Nails. Nine Inch Nails was. I'm probably gonna go through each and give a little bit, but
Please.
Nine Inch Nails. I knew it was gonna like. I'm probably gonna say this right. I knew it was gonna be good, but I was so blown away. Nine Inch Nails was like the whole team that works for that band was pretty impressive because they didn't like do a slow walkout to play the set. It literally went like they came, ran out, I mean, sprinting out on stage into Mr. Self Destruct. And the minute he touched the mic and like went like this, they went into it. And I was so genuinely blown away that even like a cue could have been that quick to switch over to the show. It was crazy. And that set was also nuts. Like they played song and like I don't know
Oh,
the next time I'll see that band live, but like they played songs they hadn't played in a while. I did wish they played The Perfect Drug, but it was really, really impressive. And then
it's cool.
um that was the best one I've seen.
Okay.
Slipknot was before, which is what I'm gonna say
Yeah.
next, but
Yeah.
um Nine Inch Nails definitely takes the spot as the best band I've ever seen live. Flawless,
Okay.
flawless, flawless. Slipknot before
Yeah.
that was the best, but I saw them. I got to see them with Joey, so
Oh wow. Okay.
it was cool. He did the thing where his whole
See. Oh
set went up,
wow.
did the spins. Like they did servicing it, I think, at the end of the set. So during the end, he's like spinning, and like
Damn. This is
like
like 9.0 live album era then.
oh no 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 no. This is like when I'm in eighth grade.
Oh, that's even before volume three, maybe.
Oh no, this is like after All Hope Is Gone. Um,
Oh wow, they still would do. They were do. I didn't know they were doing the
yeah, yeah,
spinning thing with Joey still. I thought the spinning thing was only like for the third album, and then oh no kidding.
yeah.
Whoa.
They did that. It it was cool. They had a whole thing for Paul. Excuse me.
Wow.
But it was very cool. It was like just I was in eighth grade. I was mad at the world, and Slipknot was one of those bands that really helped me. Like like you're pissed off at the
Mm-hmm.
world. You're listening to Slipknot because there's so many times where he's like, "Fuck this, fuck you, fuck everything."
Yep.
Um, Gojira is definitely on the list. I
Yep.
was so blown away. Oh my goodness, I'm sorry. I was
It's
so
all
blown
good.
away by how immensely heavy they are live.
Mm-hmm.
I was stoked to see them because I was like, Deftones is on the list, and that's the next one I'm talking about.
Cool.
But
Cool.
they they were just like just the way because they play in standard tuning and like
Yep.
the way that their tones are set up and like whoever's doing sound with them is amazing and just I love the song Flying Whales by them the best. So
Dude,
just the
so good.
ending, don't
Oh yeah. Dude, yeah.
like
Crazy.
I
Crazy.
just sitting there like my brother he doesn't listen to Gojira, but he likes Deftones and like he had just taken like a 200 milligram edible cookie. So
Yeah.
it's like he's like, dude, it's kicking in, and the band starts. He's never listened to Gojira, and they're playing, and he's. I turn and look at him because I'm like, yeah, and he is higher than you should be, and
Yeah.
it's his first time experiencing Gojira, and he's just like so like not here levitating
Yeah.
level of
Yeah.
psychoactive.
It's
But
great.
yeah, Gojira is
That's so
nuts,
funny, man. Unreal. Yeah.
dude.
Agreed.
Yeah, yeah. But and then Deftones. Deftones is one of my favorite bands, so
Yep.
it was amazing seeing them live. They're so like so raw live. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's some parts where Chino screams, and you're like, my boy's voice sounds like it is literally his vocal cords are ripping,
It's
but
crazy.
he's up there having like a good vibe and having a good time and rocking
Yep.
out and like it's just cool to see all those songs live
Oh
and
yeah.
stuff like that. And then Probably, I would put the next band I'm going to say, they're a newer band. I was so genuinely blown away that they're up there is probably one of the best because I don't really know off the top of my head who else it would be. But I saw Static Dress live on the Loathe I Let It In, where they
Okay.
played I Let It In full.
Yeah.
I was so genuinely blown away by like how tight they were, and like they're definitely running clicks and in-ears and stuff, but there are bands that you'll see when they run the clicks and the in-ears and you can still kind of they don't do it that good.
Wow.
And the energy was so genuinely impressive. I looked at my bassist Brandon, and I just looked at him and I was like, "Yo, we're not good at what we're doing."
Oh, God.
Like, because you see some bands like I'm sure you've seen the video of like Dillinger playing in that mall, right?
Of
And
course.
so it was like that kind of energy, and I was so.
Wow.
And they're not necessarily the heaviest band out there, or the most chaotic. They sound a lot like Under Oath,
Right.
but like it was such a performance, and like like as far as like understanding, like when you look at that band, and some people might go, "Why are they doing stadiums? Will Bring Me the Horizon. You need to go see them live," and you'll
Right.
definitely be like, "Yeah, this is
Yeah.
definitely why they're playing stadiums. Will Bring Me the Horizon."
That's crazy. I didn't know they brought him out. That's awesome.
Yeah,
They do have, yeah, they've created some sort of energy that people just want to be a part of
yeah.
and
It's
like an
just like
identity. It's really interesting. It's cool.
they're. I love when bands do very like vague, like a lot, very vague, more like symbolic, honestly, like a philosophical approach where you really
Yeah.
have to dig to
Yeah.
get that, and like from the jump, from Clean coming out, it was like, green room phone call, what is that? And like, they're putting all these videos and you can really see how much dedication to the craft there is as an artist. And,
Right.
like it's very cool to see people take their art to that level, and very cool to see like boundaries being pushed, and really like just like I think that's how you create unique music, is when you can take something that may have been done before sound wise and just go, okay, it's the same mixture for the cake, right? What spices can I do here? What's, there's different
Yep.
toppings and stuff to make it yours.
Absolutely, man. And I think that you guys have done that in a way too. You made
Well,
it
thank you.
yours.
Thank you.
But and an ode to all the OGs that are all still crushing it actually too, which is sick.
Yeah.
Unreal, man. So what's next for Thus Spoke?
Um, I can't say too many
Ooh,
things.
okay, that's all right. That's cool.
We
That's cool, man.
have we have some we have a tour we're about to announce.
That's awesome.
It's gonna be cool. It's for the fall.
All right, all right.
We do have some new music coming.
Cool.
Very, very excited. It's definitely the MySpace knob is getting turned up to 10, I think.
Okay,
And
okay.
so,
Dude, that's so sick. I can't wait, man. All right, here's a fun one then. If you could tour with any band or bands, past or present, I know like Craig Reynolds on his podcast does something similar, but he's my inspiration for wanting to do a podcast. So shout out to Craig. What would it be, man? Like it's kind of like your dream festival. He does that, but dream tour. Where would you want to go out?
oh man, this is
Anything you want.
okay. Complete Daft Punk is headlining. Um, Daft Punk is headlining. All Shall Perish. Us. Um, and Whitechapel, somewhere in there, probably above All Shall Perish. And then, just because I'm listening to it a lot, Charlie XCX is
Yeah, yeah,
somewhere.
yeah.
So
Funny.
I
That's
like
hilarious,
I
dude.
like wacky lineups and stuff.
Yeah, that'd be a fun one. I'm sure people would go, bro.
It'd be fun. Like we'll do all rave samples between the breakdowns. I think
Yeah,
people
yeah,
will
yeah.
get it.
Yeah, dude. Keep the vibe up. All right. And then if you have a list or if you have one, what's your favorite breakdown of all time, bro?
Oh, dude.
Take your time on this one, even if it's like multiple, if you can't decide on one.
Okay. I have a couple.
Yes.
God, the ending of in the trenches, like from like the where he's letting out the big vocal and gong 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 gong.
Yeah, dude.
The ending of Wage Slaves is one of the first and to this day one of my favorite breakdowns of all time. Um,
For those listening, who those two breakdowns, the bands. Yeah.
In the Trenches by Dying Fetus,
Yeah.
Wage
Unreal.
Slaves by All Shall Perish.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, this is so fun. Oh God, In the Trenches. I love the end of it.
the breakdown to A Fist Fight with Dick Tracy by Amir when he's like, and when I show up at your wedding, I'll
Dude,
bring
yeah.
flowers and a shotgun, and then goes in.
God. Oh, man.
But oh my God, why can I think? What's the song? It's by the Casey Strain. I think it's Balboa Towers. One's like
Okay.
dun,
Yeah, okay, yeah. Dude, oh man.
That one's good. Oh, dude, I remember the first time I heard Lunge. I could go all day with this.
Please, dude, don't stop. I know what you're saying.
The first time I heard the breakdown in Bludgeon to Death, the doctors won't be able to recognize your fucking face. Oh, and
dun.
I have to throw this in because I sampled the part in Hercules, the breakdown in Entombment of a Machine.
Dude, yeah. Okay.
With the girl, yeah.
I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Love it. Oh, dude. God, yeah.
Yes, sir.
Damn. Oh, dude. On repeat when that came out, I was like, what is this?
Oh,
man. This is awesome. This is the best list ever. No one can beat this.
A Ticket to the Pussy Crusher by Life Ruiner. Dude, yeah. Give me some sugar, baby.
I have to go check that out. I don't know that one.
It's literally the song is a breakdown. It's literally it's like kind of funny because if you listen to Life Ruiner, and this is a band I got into way later, like the guys in Boundaries showed me this band because they used to cover the song "Suck My Dick" by them. They're like a joke band. So so if you couldn't tell by Ticket to the Pussy Crusher and Suck My Dick as the name, but it's literally just like Amir breakdowns the whole time. And like I mean literally that song Ticket to the Pussy Crusher is literally just whack-o, 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 whack-o.
Oh, I know exactly what I can hear it now.
Yeah. So it's like, and like there's like I'm gonna keep going.
Awesome.
Welcome to Viper City by Recon. That's that song is crazy.
Ooh, this is fun. I have some homework on those last few.
That was a band I got into later too. I saw them. There was a fest. Oh, what was it? I think it's called Loud Fest in New Jersey, and they were playing, and I wanted to go because Despised Icon is playing, and Fractured Hand.
Oh, dude, Despised Icon all day.
We're gonna post the design, probably like maybe tomorrow or the next day, but you know the gold Louis Vuitton Despised Icon hoodies they did. It was like their name, and it had the Louis Vuitton font.
Yeah.
So
I do remember seeing that, yeah.
So Canada people, I don't know when this will drop, but Canada people, we are selling hoodies of that as a rip.
That's cool.
I think for the next tour we're going to be announcing, we're probably going to reprint some more for that. But we'd never done a gold foil design, and I was like, if we're going to do a gold foil, we got to do that. But yeah, they're I'm trying to think what other breakdowns are that are really good. A lot. There's a whole lot.
Yeah. No, dude, that's I don't think anyone will be able to top that list, my bro. People sometimes give me like 2 or 3. That was about like 7 or 8. I love it.
Yeah.
Oh, dude. Hell yeah, man. Well, it's very clear that you love what you're creating because it's so damn good, and you can tell you're super excited about it and just music in general, man. So it's just like a breath of fresh air. I really appreciate this conversation, dude. This was fun.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. You were very awesome, brother.
Thank you, dude. Hell yeah. Well, if you guys come around again, hopefully I can come out because I really want to see you guys play.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I will let you know if I am around. But dude,
man.
Andy, thank you. Everyone listening, go check out his band. Where can they find your band real quick?
Find us on wherever music is being streamed. If somebody stole it and gave it to you in an alley, that would be the coolest way, I think, via hard drive. You know what I mean? What's his name off the one Grand Theft Auto, the Russian guy, if he came up to you and was like, "Hello, I have music for you," and then that you just got that would be my dream of people
Okay.
getting that. But
Well,
yeah, anywhere social media is available, you can find us. If you don't find us, you'll at least find the book, which is a good read. So
yeah. Thus spoke Zarathustra. You've heard it from the man himself, Andy. Again, dude, thank you, and I'll catch you next time.
thank you, brother.
Hell yeah. Later.